two are very important. So let's read about the purport on this. Just one second. Submission. In the Skanda Purana, there is a statement about submission unto the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said there that those who are sober devotees can offer the submission to Krishna in the following three ways. Samprathanatmika, very feelingly offering prayers. Daina Bodhika, humbly submitting oneself. Lalasamai, desiring some perfectional stage. This desiring some perfectional stage in spiritual life is not sense gratification. When one realizes something of his constitutional relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he understands his original position and wants to be reinstated in the position, either as friend, servant, parent, or conjugal lover of Krishna. That is called lalasamoi, or very eagerly desiring to go to one's natural position. This lalasamoi stage of submission comes in the stage of perfect liberation, which is technically called Swarupa Siddhi. When the living entity understands by perfect spiritual advancement and revelation his original relationship with the Lord. In Padma Purana, there is a statement of submission in feeling by devotees praying to the Lord. My Lord, I know that young girls have natural affection for young boys and that young boys have natural affection for young girls. I am praying at a lotus feet that my mind may become attracted unto you in the same spontaneous way. This example is very appropriate. When a young boy or girl sees a member of the opposite sex, there is a natural attraction. Without the need for any introduction, without any training, there is a natural attraction due to the sex impulse. This is material example, but the devotee is praying that he may develop a similar spontaneous attachment for the Supreme Lord, free from any desire for profit and without any other causes. This natural attraction for the Lord is the perfectional stage of self-realization. In the same Padma Purana, there is a statement about submission and humbleness. It is stated there that there is no sinful living entity who is more a sinner than myself, nor is there a greater offender than myself. I am so greatly sinful and offensive that when I come to confess my sinful activities before you, I am ashamed. This is a natural position for a devotee. As far as the conditioned soul is concerned, there is no wonder that he has some sinful activities in his past life, and this should be admitted and confessed before the Lord. As soon as this is done, the Lord excuses the sincere devotee. But that does mean that one should take advantage of the Lord's causeless mercy and expect to be excused over and over again while he commits the same sinful activities. So to confess my sinful activities, I become ashamed. So if a person is a proposition, such an idea is not accepted in any part of the Vedic literature. It is a fact that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one becomes washed, clean up all sinful activities from his past life. But that does not mean that after being washed off, one should again begin sinful activities and expect to be washed again. These are nonsensical propositions and are not admitted in devotional service. Someone may think, for a whole week, I may commit sinful activities, and for one day I'll go to the temple or church and admit my sinful activities so that I can become washed off and again begin my sinning. This is most nonsensical and offensive and is not acceptable to the author of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Narada Pancharatra, there is a statement of submission accompanied by the desire for perfection. The devotee says, my dear Lord, when shall that day come when you will ask me to fan your body, and according to your pleasure you will say, you just fan me in this way. The idea in this verse is that the devotee is desiring to personally fan the body of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means that he's desiring to be personal associate of Supreme Lord. Of course, any devotee in any capacity, either a servant, friend, or conjugal lover, always has direct association with the Lord. But according to his different individual taste, a person desires for just one of these relationships. Here, the devotee is desiring to become a servant of the Lord and desire to fan the Lord. As does his internal energy, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. He also wishes that the personality of Godhead Will you please to give him directions as to how to fan? This submission with transcendental desire or Larasamai Vigyapti is the highest professional stage of spiritual realization. In the same Narada Pancharatra, there is another expression of submission, wherein the devotee says, "My dear Lord, O lotus-eyed one, when will the day come when on the bank of Yamuna I shall become just like a madman and continue to chant your holy name while incessant tears flow from my eyes?" This is another perfectional stage. Lord Chaitanya also desired that a moment will appear unto me as 12 years of time, and the whole world will appear to me as vacant on account of not seeing you, my dear Lord. One should feelingly pray and become eager to render his particular type of service to the Lord. This is the teaching of all great devotees, especially Lord Chaitanya. In other words, one should learn how to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulia, and such tears are the price for the highest perfection. If one develops this laulia or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is the price to enter the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there is no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter the kingdom of God. The only price for entering the kingdom of God is laulia ladasamai, or desire and great eagerness. Reciting notable prayers. According to the great learned scholars, the whole Bhagavad Gita contains many authorized prayers, especially in the 11th chapter where Arjuna prays to the universal form of the Lord. Similarly, in the Gautama Tantra, all the verses are called prayers. Again, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord. So a devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. In the Skanda Purana, the glories of these prayers are stated as follows. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by the greatly saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipable by demigods. Those who are less intelligent want to worship different demigods for some material gain rather than worship Krishna. But here it is stated that a devotee who is always engaged in offering prayers to the Lord is worshipable even by the demigods themselves. The pure devotees have nothing to ask from any demigod. Rather, the demigods are anxious to offer prayers to the pure devotees. In the Nrsimha Purana, it is stated, any person who comes before the deity of Lord Krishna and begins to chant different prayers is immediately relieved from all the reactions of sinful activities and become eligible without any doubt to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. So we'll offer the Vaishnava prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakkhunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta-pada-kamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shabishakha Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhuvaya Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the Nectar of Devotion discussion. So we have earlier discussed so many topics like other aspects of devotional service. Like last time, I think we discussed about japa, and now we are starting with submission. Submission is called here Vigyapti, basically the prayer, how we should be praying. Prayer is very important aspect in our devotional service. Like we have the Navadha Bhakti. There are so many that Bandhanam is there, right? So Bandhanam basically is worshipping. So how we are basically offering our prayers to the Lord. So that is very important in everybody's life. So we are from different backgrounds. So from childhood also we are hearing so many prayers. So this subject matter is very beautiful, but my knowledge is very limited. And with all of your blessings, I would like to glorify this beautiful subject matter for my own purification. So submission basically is offering one's own prayer. So there are some notable prayers are there, which are already provided in the scriptures. And then somebody, like they have a relationship with Lord. Like suppose we have to express something with one of our friends or mothers, father or sisters or any of the siblings. So what we do, we try to speak to them. So when we talk to speak to them, we develop a relationship with them. So similarly, while we speak with the Lordship, we also we develop a personal relationship with them. So the way we talk to him or Krishna, basically that is in the form of prayers. So these prayers are very important for us. Sometimes devotees, like they have a question, like, why should I pray Krishna for anything? Then if Krishna doesn't fulfill that, then my there won't be any faith. Like sometimes, we see that we demand something, Krishna fulfills. Then sometimes, like if it gets fulfilled, there are two cases also. Sometimes our faith gets fixed, and sometimes, like what we came for, like we get fulfilled, then we don't show up. So there are different aspects of, like this kind of demand and relationship. Like it's not like Krishna is our servant, whatever we demand and he is going to fulfill us. It should not be like that. So in Kevala Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti platform, devotees do not desire anything, they do not ask anything. So in Navadha Bhakti, we see there are 9 stages of devotional services are there. Like Shravanam is there, Kirtanam is there, then Archanam is there, then Smaranam is there. All these things we do, why we do? So that we, by constantly hearing and constantly chanting, it's not like that, Krishna is going to provide something. Basically, we have a loving and longing relationship with Krishna. Similarly, with Vandanam or with offering prayers also, we have a relationship, we set up a relationship with Krishna. So Vishnu Chakraborty Thakur, we see that in the Samsara Davanara prayer every day morning we sing, he did not ask for anything. His prayer is only like Guru, about glorifying our spiritual masters, like how spiritual masters connect us with Krishna, how spiritual master actually guides us. So all those things. It's never every day morning we offer this prayer, but there is nothing like Krishna give me this and Krishna give me that. Then Brahma Samhita prayer also we see Brahma is glorifying Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Brahma is glorifying Supreme Personality of Godhead, there also he is saying that, like Ishvara Parama Krishna, he is saying, then he is saying that, that I worship Govinda, the primeval God. He is not saying that Krishna give me this, Krishna give me this, this idea how to create the universe. Nothing he is saying. He is just saying that I worship Govinda. Every time if we see that, Sri Krishna, that Brahma is saying that I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. So idea here is prayers are a method to develop a sweet relationship with Krishna. So like there is a there in earlier in Nectar of Instruction we had this beautiful verse that Guhyam Akhyati Prichati, right? Like confidentially we open our heart with our near and dears, with our friends, like with whom we feel confidence. Similarly, by offering prayers, what we do, we develop some kind of confidence and some kind of loving relationship with Krishna. The same logic, basically whatever logic applies between our associate loving associates. So Krishna is basically number one well-wisher. So basically the same kind of personal relationship we have to develop with Krishna. That's why we offer prayers. So the prayers here are two types. So one is our own submission appeals, how we are appealing to Krishna, and the next one is by the notable prayers by the scriptures. Like then with the sometimes the question comes, like why the prayers are there, why we are referring to already some scripture prayers are there, we can do something else. Like just to like imagine Krishna, what we do, we go by his rupa, guna and lila. Like all those things are described in the prayers. Like in the month of Kartik, we offer Damodar Ashtakam. This is a beautiful bhajan or beautiful prayer we do. So there, when we see this Damodar Ashtakam, the prayers are there. Everything is discussed about there. How Jasodama is chasing, how Krishna's beautiful longing glances are there, how Krishna's hair is there, how Krishna's teeth is there, Krishna's beautiful face. Everything is described there. How then like when all those things, when we recite them properly, all those things come into our vision also. So we meditate on this beautiful form. So basically everything, we try to see Krishna from the eye, from the, like the way our acharyas, senior acharyas have described. So we get a better vision. So that's why these prayers are very, very important, and offering and reciting prayers also very important. So there is a beautiful line from Skanda Purana. It says that by offering submission appeals to the Lord with words, the bolts on the door of liberation is released. That is basically the power of prayer is there. So then we are also from different backgrounds are there. Like I'm from Odisha, like in Odisha, there are so many Jagannath bhajans are there. So many Vaishnava poets are there during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's times. There are so many wonderful bhajans are there, like glorifying so many natural pastimes of so many pastimes of Lord Jagannath is there. So there are so many prayers are there. Most of the prayers, some of the prayers are by bona fide acharyas. So we recite that. So those who are from West Bengal, they have different prayers. Those who are from Maharashtra, they have prayers. Like Gujarat also, they hear from Narsimha Mehta, so many prayers are there. Like there's so many beautiful prayers in different languages are there. So they also bring some kind of sweetness. Like suppose your small child is talking to a grandparent. The grandparent becomes very happy if their own language they speak. Suppose you are from Maharashtra, your parents are from Maharashtra, your child. Basically, the grandchild, he talks to his grandparent with the Marathi language, the grandparents become very happy. Similarly, though, like, we feel some kind of confidence and some kind of loving touch in our own language, prayers also there. Then there are Sanskrit prayers also there. So these prayers basically creates a bond between us and Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like, just wanted to share what is our Srila Prabhupada and his disciples' vision on these prayers. So Srila Prabhupada, when he was, we all know that when he was driving, when he was going on Jaradut, he has a couple of heart attacks are there. So that time he wrote a beautiful prayer saying, "Oh Krishna, I have come here just to spread your name and the glories, but I am incapable of doing anything. But I have come with my spiritual master's word. I have come here to spread Krishna consciousness outside. But I am now sick now. But I will do whatever you want me to do. If you want me to dance in any tune, I will dance in that tune." So after slowly, then Srila Prabhupada, I think Srila Prabhupada basically he got cured, and we then everything is a history, and we know that how ISKCON is formed. Then later, what happened after few years, Srila Prabhupada was again sick. So when he was returning to Vrindavan, he was basically sick and he was not keeping good health. So feeling deeply concerned, some of his senior disciples, they asked him, "Srila Prabhupada, what can we do?" And Srila Prabhupada told that, like, we can pray to Krishna. If Krishna desires, then only I will become fine. Then his one of his eldest disciple, Rupanuga Das, he composed a beautiful prayer. The prayer basically, it says that, the way he was writing this prayer, it literally touched my heart when I was reading it in Back to Godhead magazine. So it says that he composed prayer in such a way that he's asking permission from all the senior acharyas. Then he's asking permission from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he's writing the prayer in such a way that, "Krishna, I don't know you. I know you only through Srila Prabhupada. And we have very little bit association of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada has so much to do. So we are praying you, and we are praying all the acharyas, and we are praying to Srimati Radharani. We are praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Like that, sequentially, he is offering his prayers. Then he is writing that we are the fallen servants of his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. We beseech all of our masters, please give Srila Prabhupada more time. He should get more time to ensure the strength of this movement. Time to finish the Srimad Bhagavatam, and a little more time for us to spend at the lotus feet of his divine grace, that we become more pure devotees by his mercy. Then later they say that we implore that these 10 years have passed so quickly, and we have got very short for perfection. These 10 years are basically 10 milliseconds in eternal time. So therefore, kindly extend his stay, lest we fall from the spiritual path. So after this prayer, these devotee disciples' prayers, slowly Srila Prabhupada also recovered. So this is just wanted to say this, like this is a mood, there should be a humble mood, how to offer prayer. We can offer prayer, but the prayer will be fulfilled or not fulfilled. That is in Krishna's hand. When we are offering prayer, we should not hanker, or we should not see that, yes, my prayer is going to be definitely fulfilled. Definitely Krishna has a different plan, and whatever he is going to provide the result, that is going to be the best for us, because he is our ever well-wisher. So here in this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are three types of prayers are described. One is Sampratanatmika prayer. That is very feelingly offering prayer, which is very spontaneous. Then there is Daina Bodhika prayer. Daina Bodhika means humbly submitting oneself, that is in the mode of admission of incompetence. Then there is Ladasamai prayer. Ladasamai is at the higher stage. That is the expression of longing. That is the desiring of some personal stage. This Ladasa is not like Ladasa means, like for material benefit, like some kind of gold or some kind of car, some kind of wealth, beautiful ladies. It's not like that. This Ladasa is Ladasa for spiritual longing. Like whatever services we do, whatever in the rasa we are enjoying, we seek that for the eternal kind of thing. And that is at the Swarupa Siddhi stage. Like I neither in this life or next life, we aspire to do better and better in the devotional service, and we stay for in our devotional service. So let's go a little bit deep into each of these things. The first one is Sampratanmita. That is basically offering prayers for spontaneous devotional service. So here there is a beautiful prayer by our Rupa Goswami, which is quoted, which is basically he has taken from Padma Purana. Those three prayers are there, right? The first two has a reference to Padma Purana, and the last one is a reference to Narada Pancharatra. So this often Srila Prabhupada also quotes this one. This is basically, we can say that this prayer is quoted in the material platform, but as a writer, he has basically compared our mindset with the spiritual platform. So the sloka goes like this. Yuvatinam yatha yoni yunam cha yuvata jatha mana bhimrate tadvan mana bhiratmam tvai. That means, just as the minds of young women are attracted to a young man, and the minds of young men are attracted to the young woman, may my mind be attracted to you spontaneously. So if we see that there is a natural attraction between men and women, like the young boys and girls, they are naturally attracted towards each other. Basically, they're like we cannot say a boy to like a girl or a girl to like a boy. The attraction between them is spontaneously. This is natural. Definitely, this is at the material level. This mindset is at the material level. If it is not protected, or if it is not controlled, like unnecessary alluring things happen. And that's why there is marriage, there is counseling, there is, some kind of rules and restrictions are there. So this kind of mentality that the writer is saying here, this kind of mindset, I just want to have it when I see Krishna. When I see Krishna, basically, my mind should get attracted in the same way, like a boy likes a girl or a girl likes a boy. So the natural attraction for the Lord is the perfectional stage of the self-realization. Then the next one is Daina Bodhika. Daina Bodhika means, Daina means, like with kind of a dasya mode, kind of a humility mode. Daina means like Daridra, Daina. So that means in a humble state, basically. So this is Daina Bodhika means offering prayers with humility. So in this prayer, basically, the whoever is praying, he thinks that I am basically lower than a straw, like the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, or I am very sinful, like that in that mode. So same also with Padma Puran, there is a beautiful verse also there, and later also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in Chaitanya Charitamrita also this verse is also quoted by our Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Like when Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they were earlier in the Mohammedan king's court, and later on with Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu's inspiration, they have come to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they are going to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they are offering this quote, basically, they are saying that we are more sinful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are Lord yourself, and how we are going to how you are, because of a causeless mercy, you are going to accept us. So the verse goes like this: Mattulya nasti papatma na aparadhi cha kaschan parihare pi lajja me kim bhrube purushottama. It means that Mattulya nasti papatma. Dear Lord, let us inform you that no one is more sinful than us. Then, na aparadhi cha kaschan, and nor is there any offender like us. Parihare pi lajja me. That means, even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed. Kim bhrube purushottama. And what to speak of giving them up? So very in a humble mode, that they are basically submitting themselves to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Submitting means, they are basically offering their prayers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They Lord Chaitanya, that we are so sinful that there is no no more offender like us, and we feel ashamed when we are encountering, when you basically were counting our sinful activities. So basically this is in a mode of humility. We cannot think, and we should not think also that Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they are sinful. They are very qualified, and they were very expert in their material activities when they were as ministers in the Mohammedan king's court. But out of humility, they are surrendering to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they are offering this prayer. So here, the line is, what can I speak? That means this is a Daina Bodhika. This is the mentality that if somebody asks me to something to say, we feel that we are not qualified to speak. So this kind of a Dainya mode. Here we can see that this humility basically is not self pity kind of thing. This is not kind of any inferiority complex. It's not like kind of a inferiority complex that I am very sinful. We should not. I am the lowest of the low. It's not like that. Basically, the feeling should be there inside, but you should feel that Krishna is definitely going to protect me. In what is basically inferiority complex? Inferiority complex basically is basically false ego, and this is basically self-centered. Like you know that you want to become high, but you don't have the quality. So when you are not rising high, then that time what happens? Your false ego is basically frustrated. Then you are basically self-centered. You will always think about yourself. That is basically inferiority complex. Instead, what is humility? In the humility mode, basically, your false ego is rejected. You are not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about Krishna. So in inferiority complex, basically what happens? You are self-centered, and when your humility is there, you are basically Krishna-centered. So it is not like that, I am sinful, I am sinful. It's mostly, Krishna, you are so merciful that you are going to protect me. I am surrendering to you, and Krishna is so beautiful, and Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is definitely going to give me a chance. To be very fair enough, we all have committed something. So that's why we are here. Because of our prior prarabdha karma, we are in this material world. So we should realize that. And when we realize that, we will become automatically humble. So it is not like self-pity kind of thing, and neither it is kind of inferiority complex. The whole principle is that we should be Krishna-centered. The next thing here in the purport, Prabhupada talks about begging forgiveness. Begging forgiveness means a conditioned soul, like we all, the general tendency is that definitely we're going to commit some sins or commit some kind of offenses. But this should be confessed before the Lord, who then excuses the sincere devotees. Then the next one is, don't be shameless. But one should not take advantage that Lord definitely, because of Lord's causeless mercy, that he is going to excuse me all the time. Like we see Sisupada's example, Sisupada is committing offenses. One offense, two offenses, goes like that. Then 100 offenses, Krishna basically sends Sudarshan Chakra to kill him. So we see that elephant, he takes bath. Then immediately he goes to the sand, and basically he again plays on the sand. And again he goes, takes bath. And he again takes bath and to get clean. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that when we are realizing that we are committing offenses, we should not do that same thing again and again. And unnecessarily we're asking forgiveness, and repeating the same mistake doesn't help. Like we see that this like in Christian churches, there is just in Sunday they go and confess their mistakes. They confess their mistake. If you are not realized enough, you'll confess the mistake again, and Monday you're going to repeat the same mistake. We know that smoking cigarette is not good for health, and we say that yeah, we're not going to do that. But again, we see a cigarette, and the person starts smoking it. We know that doing this activity is not good, and we say sorry, but again we do that. So that kind of behavior is not expected. So the way here it is saying that Matulya nasti papatma. When we are saying in a personal way, sometimes we say that I am the most sinful person. Then we should realize that yes, I'm not going to commit the same sin again. So the next one is the regret and don't repeat. So if a person is not ashamed of one's own sin, and he continues to commit the same sin, thinking that Lord is going to definitely excuse me, that is nonsensical and offensive. It is not asserted by the scripture. So sometimes we see that in India, the people say that, okay, he has committed some sin and he is going to take a bath in Ganga. Then in taking bath in Ganga, all the sins is going to be washed out. The person goes take bath in Ganga, he comes out, again he repeats the same mistake. Till the heart is not clean, till we don't realize that we are committing sin and we are not regretting it, then there is no value to these prayers. So when we're offering these prayers, we should understand the internal meaning of it. So definitely we all have, and when we see the Lord, when we greet the Lord, something definitely come in our mind. So that way we basically develop a relationship. So now in this particular Dainabhotika prayer, Srila Prabhupada is saying that when we are offering this kind of things, that I am the most sinful person and I am not qualified, we should understand what we are really meaning it. And we unnecessarily, we cannot ask forgiveness and we cannot regret and we cannot repeat the same mistake again and again. So one disciple once met Srila Prabhupada and he told him, Srila Prabhupada, I am the most sinful person and I need more mercy from you. So Srila Prabhupada immediately responded to him, you are most nothing. Thinking that the most sinful person, just like that, basically, this is also a false ego. So we should think. So the essence of this particular verse is we need to understand that this particular prayer is created on the mode of humility. We should be humble enough. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always said that if we are humble in this humility mode, our chanting and our relationship with Krishna, everything gets better. Like Trunadapi Sunichana, he says, right? We should be humbler than the blade of a grass. Then the last one is Ladasamai. Ladasamai basically is the expression of longing. So first two are from the Padma Puran and the last one is from Narada Pancharatra. So now in the Narada Pancharatra here, Prabhupada says, in the purport, he has basically put this, I took this line from the purport itself. O Lord of Universe, when you will be accompanied by Lakshmi, say with a deep voice to me, I'm eager to fan you with chamara in my hand, and you will say me, you just fan me like this. So in this is basically Ladasamai Bhakti. Ladasamai Bhakti basically is the expression of longing. So in this prayer, the devotee is expressing his desire to fan the Lord by becoming a personal associate in the mode of a servant. So there are so many rasas are there. There is Santa Rasa, there is Dasya Rasa, there is Shakya Rasa, then there is Vasalya Rasa, then there is Madhurya Rasa. So we disciples or the gopis, everybody have a different kind of relationship. Like when we see in our devotee congregation also, some devotee like to make beautiful garlands for Lordship. Some like to do nice offerings. Some of the matajis, they do very wonderful cakes. In fact, they go to cake learning classes and pastry learning classes and learn how to prepare beautiful cakes so that they can offer to Krishna. Some are very good dresser. And some basically they like to distribute books and talk about Krishna's glories. So there are different rasas and different relationship with Lord, as a servant or as a friend or as a parent or a lover. So the realization of one's original relationship with Lord is the stage of perfect liberation. So this is basically Swarupa Siddhi, in which one basically eagerly wants to reinstate his position so that life after life, he is going to serve Krishna in that mode. So this is basically Ladasamai stage. So in another example, Lord Chaitanya, this is basically another example from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a beautiful verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that, O Lord Pundarakya, while chanting your holy names with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Yamuna? This is basically the highest form of love. So this kind of desire comes to a devotee when is the highest form of prema and the bhava mode. So our senior acharyas, like our Gaur Govind Maharaj, he always tells that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always in the mood of Vipralambha mode. He is always in the feeling the separation. And that's why he tells that Jagannath Puri Khetra basically is a Vipralambha Khetra. Here Jagannath is in the form of Krishna is having separation from Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also is having separation. Devotees are also having separation. So that's why it's a Vipralambha Khetra or a crying Khetra. So then in Sikshasutrakam, there is a beautiful, there in the, I think, 7th verse, it says that in the Yugamitam Nimishana verse, it says that, oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment like to be 12 years. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So the next one is the lolium. Lolium basically is basically greed. So what should be our greed? We shouldn't be greed for any kind of material desire. So our desire should be at a spiritual platform. We should aspire to feel separation from Lord. Like suppose we can see that suppose Sunday we go and stand in front of Radha Samsundar, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadra, and Gaur Nitai, we see how beautiful they are. So that beautiful picture or that beautiful vision of Lordship should be in our eyes, and we should always eager to see him more and more. So one should learn how to cry for the Lord. Prabhupada says in the purport here, one should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some kind of particular service. So the next one basically here is the prayers from the prayer from the scriptures. So they're basically reciting the notable prayers. So let's go to the purport. I did not put any print on this. Just 1 second. Next one is the reciting notable prayers. So in the reciting notable prayers, we see that our acharyas have given us so many prayers. So when we see that our in our congregation, there are so many kids and so many matajis. Basically, they have our matajis and prabhujis. They have remembered entire Bhagavad Gita in their heart. So when initially we see them memorizing them, there was a concern that we are putting unnecessary pressure on the mind. Where it's a burden on the mind. Some of the concerns were there, but slowly we should we see that it's not a burden on the mind or burden on the head. Basically, we're unburdening our heart. These beautiful prayers, which are written by the acharyas, or which is already prescribed by so many saintly persons, or even demigods prayers are there. Basically, they're weapons to protect us from different kind of virus. Like in Kali Yuga, there are so many anarthas are there, so many viruses are there, so many anarthas are there, right? So the anarthas basically they try to affect us. So these beautiful prayers or versions from our acharyas, they act kind of a vaccine or kind of a protection shield for us to protect us. So we see that in Bhagavad Gita in 11th canto, 11th chapter, there is a prayer to the universal form. This is very beautiful. Then there are prayers of Prahlad Maharaj is also there. The way he is praying to Narsingh Bhagwan. Then Brahma's prayers are there. So many prayers are there. Then in 8th canto, we see that Gajendra Sutti is there. So when Gajendra is basically, he is attacked by the crocodile, Gajendra is offering prayer. At the end, we see the Supreme Personal Godhead is coming and he is rescuing Gajendra. Then Maharani Kunti's prayers are there. These prayers are so beautiful and they are so beautifully composed. And these prayers, when we read Kunti's prayers, we see that how Kunti Maharani is praying Krishna. So by constantly, thinking about these prayers, memorizing these verses or reciting them, we not only develop a relationship with Krishna, and we develop a relationship with Kunti Maharani, with Gajendra or Prahlad Maharaj, with saintly souls. They say that, association is very important. We need to understand what kind of association we are doing. We might hear some kind of mundane music or something, and we have a choice and to hear spiritual sound and develop association with this spiritual personalities. So whatever association we have, that kind of destination also we will have. So these prayers are really important for us. So as we discussed in this beautiful chapter here, there are 3 types of prayers are there. They are Sampratatmika prayer, then there is Dainabodhika prayer, then there is Ladasamay prayer. And these are basically one devotee is offering to Krishna in his own way. And then there is our Acharya's prayers are there. So both type of prayers, sets of prayers are very important in establishing a relationship with Krishna. So with this, would like to end today's discussion. So any comments or any utilizations, maybe we can share now. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, one question I have is when we say prayers, Kunti Mahadana prayers, and then Gajendra Moksha prayers, right? But on daily basis, we don't do these prayers to the God, right? So we basically sing Mangala Aarti, we sing Narsing Aarti. So prayers is only the Aarti or in special prayers which we need to chant the mantras and then worship will be happy. So I'm just trying to understand that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, your voice was not clear to me. So what I understood is that you are saying that in the morning we pray our Arati, then Gajendra Moksha is there, then Narsingha Arati is there, then mantras are there, right? You were saying like that, and whether there is a relationship between them or is it both are needed, like that you were saying, right?
Right. So, Mataji, on regular basis, like that from past 4.5 years, I'm following this call. So, we do Narsing Aarti, we do Mangala Aarti, right? And
Yes.
these are regular Aarti. And then we do Gaura Aarti, right? So, we always
Yes.
sing this Aarti. So, this comes under prayers, or should we now, when it comes to Kunti Maharani prayers, right? And Gajendra Moksha, we are not doing on regular basis these prayers, right? So,
Yes,
I'm just trying
Prabhuji.
to
Yes.
So I'm just trying to understand. We sing this Aarti that itself amounts to prayers, or should we do any additional which on regular basis will help a lot?
Yes, Prabhuji. So definitely these are prayers. These are standard prayers which are prescribed or advised to us but on a daily basis to offer. Like Srila Prabhupada has advised us to do Gaura Aarti. Like we have Radha Krishna deities, we have Jagannath deities, but Srila Prabhupada categorically told to do Gaura Aarti. So some like neophyte devotee, when sometimes he comes, he asked why you are not doing Radha Krishna Aarti or Radha Krishna Vachan. But instead, Prabhupada has categorically told us to do Gaura Aarti. Then the morning, Prabhupada has told us to do Guru Arati. So basically, these two, he was very specific. Then there are other versions are there. Like if you go to Mayapur or India, particular places you are going, you will go. During Rajbhog also, there is our Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Rajbhog Aarti is there. The beautiful Bengali version actually they pray. So all of these are prescribed by our acharyas, and these are basically we follow basically Gaudiya Vaishnava method. So these are basically prescribed to us. These are minimum to us, and as basically we grow in our in Krishna consciousness, we get slowly get exposed to our Bhakti Vinod Thakur's beautiful Padyavali bhajans. Then we have so many Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's prayers are there. Then Narottam Das Thakur's beautiful Bengali bhajans are there. And then our Jaydev Goswami's beautiful bhajans are there. So these bhajans are in different modes are there. Like if we see Jaydev bhajans are in Radha Krishna Madhurya Leelas are there. So these are basically standard things as a neophyte stage Prabhupada suggested to us to start with. Then as we go deeply based on our rasa with Krishna, we slowly go deepen our bhajans. Like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, like when he was in Orissa, like he composed Padyavalis. Like he has beautiful Radha Krishna deities. Those deities are getting worshipped there, and in a small village, all these bhajans every day they are reciting these days. So as you told now, as we discussed now, all these definitely are notable prayers. In addition, we can recite also Kunti's prayers. We can in the month of Kartik, we recite Damodar prayers, right? Damodar bhajan, right? We do. So all are important to us. And these are the daily prayers for us. Like Prabhupada has told us, like 16 rounds we are chanting, but we can chant more. Is this okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
But as long as we are reciting Vaishnava prayers by the Vaishnava Acharyas or whatever was referred to as by Srila Prabhupada or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we get our connection with Krishna becomes more and more stronger. Like we are not getting bewildered by listening here and there. We are not out of track.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So you said that we are not listening here and there. but sometimes I feel I get attracted to even other sampradayas prayers, like Vallabhacharya prayers, and sometimes even my own religion. When I go to a gurudwara and they say from the Guru Granth Sahib, I do get attracted, but then I feel that should I be, of course, we are focusing on our sampradaya, but should I even be listening to the other sampradayas? And we don't know whether they are bona fide or not. So at least I can't come to know.
Yeah, as long as they're bona fide, Mataji, our Acharya says that we should stay, as long as we are staying in the Sampradaya, it is good. And Srila Prabhupada, always, like there is a beautiful story or pastime also. Like there was a beautiful Kirtan, I think Bhajan singer was there. He was coming to one of the ISKCON temple, and he was basically performing some bhajan. Srila Prabhupada was in his room listening to it. Then after some time he told, who is singing? Can we stop that? Like that he inquired. If when we are coming in the Sampradaya, right, we go through a path, we go through a process. So because slowly with devotees association and with the Sampradaya's blessings and a strict discipline, our heart also gets purified. So from our heart, we call Krishna. So that way, actually, when we hear, we get that association and we see Krishna basically through those prayers also. So Prabhupada always says that we don't see Krishna. Basically, we hear Krishna, we see Krishna through our ear. So that's why through staying in the Vaishnava tradition, listening to these beautiful bhajans is very important. Definitely in Sri Sampradaya, there are so many beautiful bhajans are there. They also nourish our heart. But as long as it is Vaishnava tradition, it should be okay. And but definitely more importance should be given to our own bhajans, which Prabhupada has given to us. This bhajan book is there. The Kirtan standard also our Jadak Maharaj is stressing on. So as long as we are following strict discipline, definitely it is good.
So I shouldn't listen to my family.
No, I'm not saying, Mataji, that you should not listen to, but I'm saying that you should give more importance and more focus.
Correct.
Yes. Like
Correct.
I'm from Odisha. There are so many beautiful Jagannath bhajans are there. Like there are Vaishnava bhajans are there in Odia language. So who is recited in Jagannath Puri. I cannot say them they are not good or they are not like that. But more emphasis generally, we are going to a parampara. Whatever is getting taught to us by our senior acharyas. We should go in that path.
Correct. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing this.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Mataji, can you tell the difference between the submission and surrendering? Like, to me, it sounds like pretty similar, but is there something I'm not understanding correctly?
Yes, Mataji. Submission and submission here we see that as I am understanding is submission here, there is a three way of submission is there here. Like we see that how we are submitting ourselves to Krishna. There are three methods we are offering our prayer. The first and how deeply was basically submitting, then in that level basically you are surrendering. Like submission can be, like in the first one we say that in a spontaneous relationship, we are asking Krishna. Then second one we say that in a humility mode, that I am Krishna, I am very low and you are going to rescue me. Then the last one we say that, I want to be a personal associate of you. So these are the three methods of submission. But when we're submitting, sometimes, like we should not have the demanding relationship with Krishna that Krishna, if you're not giving me this, I'm not going to pray you. Like sometimes we see the devotees, right? So devotees or non-devotees or karmis, whatever we say, that they have a give and take relationship. I'm going to give 100 ladus, Ganeshji, you make my son pass. Then we are submitting ourselves. But we're submitting ourselves in a demanding way. But when we're surrendering, we say that Krishna, whatever you do, this is my situation, and whatever you are providing, I'm going to accept it. So that is in the mode of surrender. And when we are in the mode of surrender, right, we do not demand anything. We don't ask anything.
Yeah, it's pure. It's more pure and more.
Yes, this is basically surrender. Basically, it's a Kebala Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti platform. Without Krishna, there is no desire. We are always 100% Krishna centered.
Right.
Our desire is only to get Krishna.
And Mataji, one more question. Can you describe a little bit about the Swarup Siddhi, which is also under the same topic, I think you you were
Yeah,
mentioning.
Swarup Siddhi, basically, here, we are basically eternal servants of Krishna. We are part and parcels of Krishna, right? So, but we are in this material world. When we are in this material world, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Sundar Acharya, the Vaishnavas, we are understanding that we are not the body, basically we are the soul, and we have a loving relationship with Krishna. So by some karuna or by some like pious credits, we are understanding that. So when understanding that, right, we all enjoy some kind of rasa with Krishna. Some likes to read scriptures with Krishna, and some of us like to do some services with Krishna. So whatever we services we do, whatever we do, right, our role models are these gopis. So these gopis of Vrindavan, what they do? They do all kind of sevas of Krishna. Some of them will be doing menial services. Some of them will be doing preparing tambulam from Krishna. Some will be fanning Krishna, and some will be basically arranging how Radha Krishna is going to be. And some will be preparing nice sandesh and rasgulla for Krishna. Some will be preparing nice garments, nice garlands. So every time the goal should be, like how to please Radha and Krishna. That is when Radha and Krishna are pleased. So basically, the soul is pleased. We see that in spiritual platform also. Mother Lakshmi also will be massaging Krishna's feet. So the desires out as a, so we all should aspire that we should be also doing to become a like personal assistant to Krishna, like Nitya Sevaka of Krishna. Like some, if we are by our good fortune, if our doing some kind of services to Krishna in this material world, that also we are very fortunate, and we should aspire, and that like we are going to reinstate ourselves in doing that seva. So basically, we should aspire that always we have a desire to do some dedicated seva to Krishna. So today we are in this body, tomorrow maybe we are not in this body, we can be of some other body, but devotional service should always go on. So basically that is the Swarupa Siddhi we're discussing about it. If we're going even to Golok Vrindavan, our seva should not stop. The same seva we should do.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. So wish you all a happy New Year. I'm sorry I could not wish you in the advance. So we met most of you on December 31st. So January 1st also we had some gathering, but we missed all of you. But wishing all of you a happy and prosperous Krishna conscious New Year. May we get more and more of your association with these sanghas. Simesha Prabhu, are you around? If you are, we don't have any more discussion, maybe we can end this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for a wonderful class, as always. Thank you so much. Again, wish you all a happy New Year. May Sri Radha Shyam Sundarji bless you with a good health, happiness, and more devotion throughout the year. And let's all together try to progress more in bhakti. We seek more services. As we progress, that's the ultimate. Service is the supreme. Who is able to do the service, that means they are realized. Perform loving devotional service to the Supreme. That's a mercy of Srimati Radharani. When we pray to Srimati Radharani, that please shower us the bhakti so that we can perform our sadhana, our service, our devotion to the Lord. Thank you so much. And if there is nothing else, let's conclude. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Mera Shri Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu ki jai. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Gaudi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Sri Premanande Hari Hari.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Everyone.